she's a programmer. I don't know what their actual job description
what?
is.
It's never specified.
They don't seem to know what
You
they're
go on a
actually
computer
there
and you go
for.
like this.
It's funny how much they type like that for on a screen that has like giant font of 5 words. Yeah, I'm just looking at this while I'm typing
or
that.
tiny font in a box that's a 64th of the screen.
Between this and Jurassic Park, I think they thought that a crucial part of computing was you have a cartoon version of yourself on screen.
And they weren't wrong. Look who's on the screen right now, Matt.
Oh my God.
Right. It's just that they were advanced.
Yeah.
Wait, Hymel now. I had nothing.
This is Load Bearing Beams, the show where we ask, what else do you call your butt? I'm Matt Stokes.
What the?
That's a reference to the movie we're talking about.
Yeah, right. It's your chair.
A movie where they say butt a lot.
You can't take it with you, you fucking simple computer lady. Hi, I'm Laci Roth. I'm married to this man.
Who else is here?
Wade, introduce yourself. He goes by Wade.
I'm Wade. I'm back.
No, don't
I'm
do what I
back
was
on
doing.
the episode.
Just say who you are. On this podcast, we discuss movies that were important to us in our childhood, in our youths, before we had great taste, or did we? And we unveil them to people we respect and admire, and then they rip us to shreds. Today, we rip apart Wade. Now tell us what you do well, since you don't pick movies that good.
That's right.
Okay.
My first episode, I picked a movie that you didn't like. And then that trend just continued.
Okay, so listen, if you've not heard Wade, and I think this is Wade's 5th appearance on our show.
I lost count after 4.
Although one of them you've never heard because we lost it. Yeah, if you don't know, Wade and Laci team up to annoy me. They're very bad influences on each other. So
But you've set us apart. So that was a good idea.
We'll see how this goes. Okay. You're
gonna-
very bad influences on each other. But Wade, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome. What are you doing here?
Oh well, we're here to talk about my favorite movie, and also I guess sort of what I've been up to lately.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Yes.
I am a musician, for those who don't know, and I've got an album coming out
Today.
Today,
Did
yeah,
you hear today?
today.
It's out today. Who said that? And you can get it on.
Wait, the name of the album is Who Said That, because we've all been talking,
Yes.
so you know who said most of this.
That's true, yes. Quote, who said that? Unquote.
Wait, do you play every single thing on it? Because you are a virtuoso and you do play everything the best out of anyone I know. So did you let anyone else play any instruments on this?
Yes,
album?
I do have a small army of friends and lovers on the on the list of credits. My friend Roberto, who you met when we
Yes.
did the famous Lost episode, he is the harmonica player.
Yeah. Yes, he has lots of harmonicas inside of a jacket.
TJ Barron's recorded our
The Rural Route 9 album.
The Joy of Averages. He recorded my album as well, and he plays and sings on it. My friends Ryan and Logan from my old band Better by Design, and Ryan plays with me currently in Incubators. They're on it.
God, you're in a lot of bands.
My friend Ulla Adlaken, who is the famous Norwegian woodwind saxophonist of New Orleans, he plays on a song and sings on another. So.
Let us just also say that like Wade is like the only person we know that actually is so good at playing music that he makes his living out of it. So he is in a million bands.
That's the only way to keep it going.
Right, but
Why
we
did
haven't
we
said
say
his last name yet. So if people want to Google them, he can't.
Wade Hymel. Who
Like
said
email.
that? Not like email. It's not Wade Hymel.
That's how it sounds in my head. Hyman.
Have I been mispronouncing it all this time?
No.
Say it, Wade.
Yeah.
Say your last name, you fuck. No, this
I
is-
don't. You can call me whatever you want.
Fucking say it, Wade.
Okay, but it's on.
Matt said it.
It's on iTunes.
Who said that?
You can get it on iTunes and Spotify and Bandcamp. And
Yes, Who
Google
Said That
Music.
is available everywhere you can stream stuff.
Yes. Now, why should they? Now, let me say, I've heard it and it's great.
It
It's
is
really good. It's sort of kind of classic rock meets Blues, yes, but
and bluegrass.
but not in a annoying way.
Jesus Christ.
It's not like 70s radio rock. I don't know. It's if you know Wade, it sounds like exactly.
It sounds like a collection of Wade's brains.
Yes, a synthesis of all the things Wade is interested in.
And you know it's Wade because he's got these random cool ambient sounds that will like the track will end with. I'm sure it's just a bug he heard outside and like he recorded it, and so he finishes a song with this bug's noise. Noise, but he's got just
and
little
he probably spent
acoustic
6
moments.
months finding those bugs.
They all lived in my walls.
It's okay.
And they all get co-producer credits.
And they talk to him through Christmas lights.
Scabby, Stabby, Screech, Dirk, Loath, Habanero.
They're already bugs, and yet they get shit names too. Kick them when they're down. I'm already a bug.
Can you answer this question? Can you settle this debate for us, Wade?
I can try.
Okay, is album art part of an album?
Yes, it's part of the fucking. You know how much thought he put?
No, like, hold on, Laci.
God damn it.
If you are asked just the metaphysical question, what is an album? Do you include the art as part of that definition?
And Wade, think of whether you're going to slap me in the face or not with your answer.
When I think of it, I would say yes.
Yeah! Fuck yeah! I did not influence that answer at all.
I agree.
What?
I never
then
did.
What's the
Especially
debate?
Since we're in the spirit of the show, we're talking about movies and music that's been a part of our lives for so long. There are certain albums that have been with us for so long that when you hear it, that's
see it.
what you see.
Like Nirvana.
Mm-hmm. Like Nirvana.
Yeah. Or any Metallica album.
I think
or like these guys.
What you got? Oh, and any biscuits that are limp. Yes,
the $3 bill, y'all. I guess
$3
but what
biscuit.
complicates it is sometimes there's different artwork for an international release.
Sure, but that's true of movie posters too. And what else can we display to show our love of movies?
But movie
if not
posters
their
are not part of a movie.
They are fucking part of a movie.
No,
you
they're
whore.
not. That's insane.
How is that insane, Matt? You are shitting on. Do you know
I'm
how
not
hard?
This is not shitting on the hard work of people.
Guys, not in front of the kids.
Do you know how hard it is to take the essence of a movie and distill it into an image, one that gets people interested just by the sight of it, or feeling nostalgic about it just because they remember a look? Any of that. That is someone who intimately understands the movie.
Movie posters obviously are very valuable. If you define what the movie is, I would not include anything that isn't in the running time. And I think that distinguishes it from an album where the artwork is a part of the thing, because an album is a product of a smaller creative team, usually the artist and the producer. And sometimes they enlist outside people. Sometimes they choose what the artwork is and sometimes they don't. But a movie is a much more giant enterprise. And the poster to me is part of the marketing.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to crush that. So when you have a smaller band before they're known, you're much more possible. What's the word? Fuck. You're going to get like their doodlings and like handwritten stuff. And like I think Wade's art includes his handwritten words. Yeah, so you get that kind of awesome, cool shit. But you can't tell me like once you've crossed over and become a mega star that there's not a million people curating what goes in there. I mean, it's not like I just say, where's the cutoff point? Do you get to decide when it stops being part of the album because it doesn't feel personal enough? And then you take an indie film, someone who put their life's work into it, and they had to spend their own money on making this poster. You don't think there's like just as much thought and heart? And what about the packaging? What's on the cover of the physical movie and in the inside jacket? Is that not all art? And why is that part of the movie?
That's not part of the movie.
I'd like to pick this up and run with it.
You're full of shit. This doesn't make sense.
If you think about like bands' first albums from like the early mid 60s.
Yes. Oh no. But yes.
You have it's much more curated by an outside hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of those album covers feel more to me like movie posters.
Yeah, like the Beach Boys, or like I'm picturing like
here's
almost
some
art.
words. Here are the titles.
Like,
here's what we look like.
They look like postcards.
But
almost.
I'd say like the Beatles come along and kind of shape what an album is and are very deliberate with their covers.
Absolutely.
And that is kind of like the starting point for what we think of as albums. And
right.
Before
You're
then, they were
playing
just
God.
And it was
compilations.
gradual too, because you have like Help, which is still sort of like that, but they're doing weird semaphore and you know, yeah.
I'm saying you're playing God. You're deciding when it starts and you're deciding when it's over.
There has to be a cutoff point somewhere.
No, there does not.
Yes, there does.
Yes, there does.
Yes, there does.
If someone is part... Oh,
Let me know if you need help over there.
This is insane. You're just wrong. So that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong.
The art is the one visual component of the album. With a movie, you have a written part, which is the credits, and that's part of the movie. But marketing, I would say, is not.
We are collectors, Matt. You're saying that the shit behind you doesn't feel just as much a part of the movie, that the covers you stared at since you were old enough to purchase your first fucking VHS.
There are different facets of the experience, I think, is where you're coming from.
They're apart from it. They're also I'm not saying they're not good.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're bad. Just saying
when you listen to an album, you're going to want to look at the album cover at some point. When you're watching a movie, do you look at the poster?
No, but it's
you
all
don't
I
need
have.
to. It's less important than the album covers
but
to
it's
the album.
all I have afterward. If I'm going to put it on Letterboxd, that's what's going to be there. If I'm going to buy it, that's going to be there. If I'm going to get a shirt, that's probably what's going to be there. If I'm going to post about anything or have it physically in my life without having to put it on the screen, that is what I have. You're wrong. Moving on. I love you. We'll stay married for now.
Do you want to know where the band played its first?
I wanted to retort.
Can I just say that if Wade interjects with things that sound like they're being read off the back of a Limp Bizkit VHS, that is because I made the mistake of giving him the VHS of the Limp Bizkit, whatever the hell it is that I just found.
Mike Myers on the back.
It does look. I thought it was Michael Myers, and he's
Mike Myers.
He's like that wounded, scarred child that when his parents start fighting, he just starts reciting the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States.
Yeah,
So
you're
that's
a grand old flag. Look over here at me.
okay.
Limp
I
Bizkit.
pledge allegiance to the Fred Durst.
We're gonna need timestamps on this motherfucker.
We're going to need to start over.
Nah, it's all gold.
So what we often do on the show is announce what the upcoming episode is so that you have time to watch the movie. Next week, it's Lacey's turn to pick a movie. And she is picking...
Kevin Smith's Dogma. I love a lot of Kevin Smith movies. I entered Kevin Smith fandom with Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, but I ended up liking some of his more off-color or nerdy or counterculture. I saw myself more in other movies, so that's why I picked Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a fascination with religion because I was Christian, and I was brought up that way and only ever thought that was the option that you wanted if you wanted to go to heaven. So Dogma was a little like oddity.
A little like forbidden fruit.
A
Like,
little forbidden, yeah.
I don't know if I should, but I want to.
Yeah.
Forgive me, Mother. The other thing about Dogma
Yeah.
is not available streaming. The only way you can get it is on DVD. So I had to pay $30 to watch it to order the DVD from Amazon. Now, if you're listening to the show...
I've seen it at thrift stores. I could have just gotten it.
Well, okay.
Shit.
Some of the shit you get from thrift stores, you didn't get that.
I thought I had it.
If you look, between you and me, if you're a fan of Lord Bearing Beams and you want to watch the movie to keep up with the show, and you don't want to pay $30, DM me. That's all I'll say.
Oh, hey.
So next week, Dogma. Okay. So we're talking about GoldenEye.
Oh, okay. I didn't even mean to transition so well.
The first time we ever had Wade on the show, we talked about GoldenEye, but we've been revisiting some of our early episodes when we didn't know what to do. The show was very different back then, and we also had Wade's girlfriend, who was with us, and also she did a movie. She did Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Mm.
But yeah, we're gonna do GoldenEye again, as we're older and smarter people now, and we'll see if anything's changed. See how we experienced the movie this time.
We basically weren't even young yet back then.
No, we were
Pre-young?
preteen.
Yeah, we were tweens.
So let's go around the room and talk about our histories with both James Bond and GoldenEye. Lacey,
Go first.
Gross. Okay, so my history with James Bond is Austin Powers. That it's another situation. We are in a Star Wars situation here where Spaceballs is what I consumed. So then watching Star Wars after, I just see the jokes. I see the things that, if exaggerated just a little bit, are effing hilarious. Effing. Oh my God, this is for children now. So I will say that's not fair to James Bond, but I look at Pierce Brosnan and I think, you're no Bond. There are other Sean Connery, right? That's
Yeah.
that's a bond I can get behind. I can bond with that Bond. And I already know the tropes, but
Is this
they're
an
not
episode of Bonding with Bond?
bondage. And I'm not going to be the person who's in the crowd going, say the shaken to start, say shaken but not start, or whatever the fuck they. He said it. Like I just, I feel like it's his dad's shoes he's trying on, and they're too clunky, they're too big. Like, I said the thing. I'm Bond now, right? I made Bond, and that's how I feel like Pierce Brosnan is.
You also said when we watch it, you don't think
pretending.
he's attractive.
He's conventionally attractive. I acknowledge that, but he looks like a dad. He is not my kind of attractive, and he knows he's attractive. He smells his own shit. Like he's just thinks he's so fucking clever, and he's delightfully British. Yay! I like
What
that.
Bond movies have you seen?
Oh right, none. That
You've
I
seen
remember.
this one. You see
I've
GoldenEye.
seen Austin Powers 1. I've seen Austin Powers 2.
When we watched it in 2017, and then a few years ago, you watched Casino Royale with me.
Oh right, I like that.
and
one.
you liked it.
Yeah, I love Mission Impossible. I like spy stuff. I guess this, damn it, I'm going off the rails. I don't think you've asked me all this. I don't have much of a history. And I think the stuff that I have watched has kind of set this movie up for failure.
But I think that when this movie came out, this was an entry point to James Bond for lots of people, especially people our age. But I think even to older people, and it was a hard reset of the series, and like we're going to try to modernize it.
Oh, I wanted to ask, how do they? Mission Impossibles are linear, right? Like they don't reset; they just keep going.
So what's like the James Bond continuity?
Yeah.
It's flexible. I have a lot of thoughts. I can share them, but
Do you think people want to hear them?
no.
Well, then why would you share them?
Well, because you asked.
Well, that's not the way to figure it
So
out.
it's kind of, some people think that James Bond, every time there's a new actor, he's literally a different person, and James Bond is just like his moniker or his code name. I hate that, because I think that what is appealing to Bond is that he's experienced all of this stuff. And there's also stuff in the movies that he carries over from actor to actor, such as being married to a woman who was assassinated. And it was his great love that sort of hardened him into the man he is now.
But he's not hard at all. He's just a quippy one-liner little shit. He even gets called out for it multiple times in this movie.
So they had the sort of nominal idea was this James Bond you're watching here is literally the same man who Sean Connery was playing in the 60s. And like comic books, it's just like the time adapts, but the character is the same man, even if he doesn't age.
And when you're a kid getting into the movies, you just accept that.
Yeah. Well, and you should. I accept it.
Sure.
That's the way I like to look at it. Once Daniel Craig came aboard, it was kind of reset.
Daniel Craig, that's who I associate with this. Sean Connery and him. I completely. Is he in people's hearts and minds generally who are a big fan of Bond? Where do they rank him? Pierce Brosnan.
I think a lot of people. I think it depends on people's ages. I think people our age, to people our age, I think he is James Bond.
Or at least among the top, and then some people rank him at the bottom, which
Yeah.
makes my feelings get hurt.
I love I love you, Wade. I'm
Big
sorry.
Bond fans, I think he's considered one of the lesser.
He just doesn't have that much.
I think Sean Connery and now Daniel
charisma.
Craig are considered the best, but Roger Moore played him the longest, and the series was very silly then. And some
more
people
get smarty. Kinda?
no, honestly, more like Mission Impossible, just kind of like fun
Yeah.
antics. And some people like that, and some people don't. So there's a Bond for every flavor.
Since we're on Roger Moore, can I just say that since the last time we talked about GoldenEye, that was Sam, my girlfriend, that was her first time seeing a Bond film. And she has since then gone from boring 90s boy movie to now we have seen all but 2 of the Bond films.
Wow.
She's gotten into the N64 game, GoldenEye.
I remember liking that game.
I think we've also played The World Is Not Enough by now. So she's into it.
Okay.
And
she likes this movie.
We've now seen GoldenEye together, I think 3 times, and she likes it a lot.
Did she like
because
it?
now her reference point for it being the game, she kind of came into it from a sort of not even a back door, like an underground cellar door. And now she's really into it. But Roger Moore has become her favorite Bond.
It's fun. Those movies are fun.
They are a lot of fun.
Did she like it back in 2017? I don't remember.
GoldenEye?
Yeah.
She thought it was fine, but
That's
I think
right.
she enjoyed me enjoying it more than she liked it
that's
herself.
Right. Well,
that's what you want.
Well, and that does make something enjoyable. That can win me over.
I wanted to just say this thing about Daniel Craig. Once they cast Daniel Craig, they do a hard reboot and say, this is basically Bond. This is a different timeline. And now everything that Daniel Craig is doing has only ever happened to him. This is basically a hard reboot.
I just think it's hard to come
And
before.
But there are also parallels to the old story.
Yeah, like Judi Dench is still playing M, but you can read it as what? But this is a different M. It's just the same actress.
But I mean more like Casino Royale functions as the Dr. No, and then what's the next? Skyfall kind of functions as the Goldfinger. That kind of takes you out of the Spectre storyline before it drops you back in with Spectre, which is the Thunderball.
Okay, so would you say that we said Roger Moore is his name?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Roger Moore, it sounds like that whole suite of movies knew what they were. They were spy shit, but
Campy.
Fun, camp, silly. They knew what they were. Then you get Daniel Craig and all the way this way, and it turns into a more serious thing, and he's foxy as all hell, and it just becomes like, then it totally knows itself, and it goes this way. I feel like right here, and I can't speak for the Sean Connery part, but that was one of my points of this movie is I don't know if it knows what it is. It goes between silly gags like people with the scene with Q, guys just flying across the room.
I mean, love the
which
ejector seat
I
bit.
find that very funny, but where did that come from? And then
I think they were trying to strike a balance between like, okay, we got really silly with Roger Moore, and then apparently there was a backlash because people thought Timothy Dalton was too serious.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there was a long hiatus where it was like 6 years with no film, where there's all kinds of development hell and trying to figure out.
And they're trying to figure out like what do we want from James Bond?
The Cold War ends. Do we even have a James Bond anymore?
Yeah.
okay, because it has to be the Russians.
It did have to be the Russians most of the time.
So your history with it, was this the first Bond you saw?
That I was aware of, yeah.
It would have to be.
Did you see it in theaters?
Favorite.
I don't think I ever saw it in the theater, though. In fact, since we're talking about VHS so much on this episode, I would like to throw out, this is an interesting thing I didn't think about until I was watching it last night, but I grew up renting this tape from Blockbuster and then, getting my own copy, but it was always on VHS. So seeing GoldenEye, my sentimental favorite movie that I've seen the most in my entire life, it looks weird to me in widescreen.
Yeah.
I'm getting all this extra information where I'm used to the sort of...
The pan and scan. Yep.
Exactly.
I'm going to find it for you, and I'm going to give it to you.
I did notice, I think that this
VHS.
movie looks great, but there are some, at the end of the movie, when they're on the antenna dangling over the thing, Sean Bean and Pierce Brosnan, you can see the static painting of the clouds in the background. And
yeah. There's some
probably
green
on
screen
video,
stuff.
Probably on video, it looked, you would never notice it, but in 4K, you're like,
Yeah.
It's very clearly a painting.
I watched it on streaming this time because I do have a DVD copy of it still that's from, older and probably less good quality. So it probably looks fine on that too.
Yeah.
But I watched it in glorious HD, and you can really see how some of the like scenes in Russia or Monte Carlo or Puerto Rico or pasted in when they're doing close-ups.
I'm unburdened by that. Great. I didn't notice that, so I'm glad.
So you watched...
Wait till you see the movie 500 more times.
Also unburdened by that, because that's not going to fucking happen.
So you've watched all the Bond movies?
I have seen them all except for the newest one.
Okay.
Although I
When
did
did you
notice
do that?
it on streaming last night, and I noticed it was 3 hours long.
What? That was gold.
Deny.
Gold?
Denied.
That's the movie we just watched. And I also wanted you all to know I'm intentionally dressed a little bit like Freddy Krueger because I intend to mess up all your dreams.
I think you got a new catchphrase.
GoldenEye sucks, bitch.
Put it on a t-shirt. Send it out.
I was talking about Gold Denied.
Oh.
Gold denied.
Well, he refuses to.
Anytime I talk about like how much I like it, you can just go Gold Denied.
Okay, got it. Well, I've been asking for a soundboard for a long time that I can just hit a thing and say a sound and pew, 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 pew. That's one of them.
Well, Christmas is coming up.
No, it already
Comes
came
twice a
and
year.
went, and you say that every time.
I don't recall you ever asking for this, but we
asked
can
a
make this
bunch of
happen.
times.
We can make this happen. Here's my history with James
Oh,
Bond.
yeah, Matt, did you ever see anything? Ever?
Thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
My came in on Tomorrow Never Dies. I saw it in the movie theater. I'd never seen a
That
James
was my
Bond
first one in
movie.
the theater.
Who is, what
Pierce
Bond?
Brosnan. It is the follow-up to GoldenEye, and people at the time didn't like it. They're like, GoldenEye was so great. What's with this? And
But it looks so different, doesn't it? That was something I noticed, is that even the Pierce Brosnan ones that came after it look so much like crisper
Give me
in,
this.
in all the details. And then if you look before GoldenEye, everything that like the closest movie to that was still in the 80s. So GoldenEye
This
has this
movie-
look.
looks very 1995.
Guys,
Yes.
Guys,
Yes.
give me approximate year range for Roger Moore. Just ballpark.
1973 to 1985.
Okay, and then is it Sean after that?
It-
No, he's before 1962 to 1971.
Oh my God, really?
Mm.
He's that old.
We have a big history section.
Yeah, I'm asking now for my fucking frame of reference, 62 to 72.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got this fucking panty waist. Right.
Are you
Timothy
talking about?
Dalton is 87
Oh,
and 89.
okay. Timothy Dalton. I don't know what he looks like. This
And
is
then
great
Pierce
cast.
Brosnan 95 to 02.
He held on that long.
4 movies.
4 movies.
They didn't have a lot of options, I guess. And then to
Daniel Craig
the
06
hottest
to 21.
piece to ever 007.
Yeah,
it
talk
up.
about hung on for a long time.
Although the
Once
movie
you
they
got
made
him.
the movie way earlier. It got delayed for years.
That's true.
Having already been produced.
Okay, so did Sean Connery like come up with a lot of these like isms?
Mhm.
They were his, and then they just were like, "It'd be funny to keep doing that."
The tropes I mean
It's a rolling ball. It just gathers, right?
The charm of the James Bond movies is how many things carry over from the 60s, from the opening title sequence, the song by a pop star,
Buck wild. The freaking openings. God, when you don't know that that's the thing, it's supposed to be kind of trippy and insane. That
the
those
things
credits.
he drinks, the things he eats, the places he goes, and then the supporting characters, sometimes played by different people, but Q, his guy who gives him his weapons, has been around since 1963.
I like all that.
He had before Judi Dench. There was a guy who played M for a lot of movies. There's always a Moneypenny, and there's always a Tanner.
Tanner.
Tanner's the guy who was complaining about M, and then he's like, "She's standing right behind me."
I think he's supposed to be the chief of staff, but wasn't he new in GoldenEye? I don't remember. Tanner.
I believe he was. He might have been in the books and only appeared here for the first time. I don't remember.
And there was
But
some
he's-
character that stood in for his function usually.
What a limp dick.
But you do see Bill Tanner, that name, like show up a lot more, starting with the.
Rory Kinnear plays him in the Daniel Craig movies.
That's right.
Yeah, so Tomorrow Never Dies is where I come in, and I remember thinking as like a 10-year-old, I can't follow this, but it was a key thing that happens when you watch a movie is you realize I don't have to follow it to enjoy it.
it's just fun.
You just
Pew,
give
pew.
yourself over to it,
That's how I feel about sex.
and
You
then
don't have to understand it. You just take what comes.
it's a lazy river.
You give what you've got.
Anyway, I always casually liked the James Bond movies, loved the Daniel Craig movies, and then 2021 I started my project of watching all the James Bond movies in order. And GoldenEye, I knew when I was a kid was the good one. Was like the Tomorrow Never Dies is fine, but GoldenEye is the great one. And there was the video game that was so popular. And when I saw it as a kid, I didn't like it as much as I liked Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough. And then I probably watched it one more time, and then we watched it for our episode in 2017, and I didn't like it then. I don't know, there was something about it. And then 2021, when I did my James Bond rewatch, I still didn't like it. I was like, this is just not fun. This is
What
not like
isn't?
GoldenEye. This is not. I don't see what everybody else is seeing. I don't know. So that's my history with it. It was, it's like you get a contrarian take that you get attached to, which is like everybody likes GoldenEye, but I don't. So that's
thought
what I come into this movie with.
But you do like. Why did we have a fight last night? This is so confusing. You're holding your cards. Gross.
Yes.
Ugh, sick. All right. Ugh, the suspense is
This is
killing
the
me.
segment where we hold our cards.
Hey, Wade.
So,
look at that, Wade.
before we each watched this movie, we recorded
look
a
at
prediction.
That guy.
Let's hear what we all had to say, starting with Wade.
As I record this at 8 p.m. on Sunday in 2024, I am preparing to watch GoldenEye for the uncounted, although undoubtedly triple-digit time. What is there to predict?
Jesus.
The more you watch a movie, the more you discover, but what is there left to discover? I've seen this movie enough times to be able to recite it in its 2-hour and 9-minute entirety. I know every line by heart, and I can see every scene in my mind palace. The young Pierce Brosnan as he walks down the dusty streets of Russia. And Judi Dench as her first turn as M, leaning out the window, shouting, "You there, Bond, have you seen the GoldenEye?" And he says, "The one as big as me?" And, history in the making. As for our gracious, gregarious hosts, I predict that Matt will enjoy it just fine, and Laci will hate it again. Possibly even more the second time.
I didn't listen to the... Wait,
Was I right?
You're psychic. You're fucking psychic. I didn't listen to the first episode. I can't believe I didn't think to do
neither.
that. I like to do that, though, because I don't want to just regurgitate.
Well, it'll be a good, fun experiment. We'll go back and listen side by side. What stuff did we just repeat?
To mine.
Okay, this is
play
Laci's
them
prediction.
at the same time.
This is Laci's prediction.
What am I about to watch? Golden member? GoldenEye? 007. Is this some sort of... I don't even know what movie this is. I really couldn't remember. There's going to be a Pierce Brosnan in here. I remember it inspired the song that I love of our theme song at the end where Wade plays the chest drums. I just remember it being lame. I don't know. I hope I changed my mind because I love my little Wadey poo. But I have a feeling it's gonna suck major balls. Okay, bye. That was some great audio. Was I doing enough?
How could we think about getting rid of predictions? It's a great segment.
It's not that great.
One day I'm going to pick a movie that Laci likes.
I know you
I'm
can't.
like 0 for 12.
No, we like the bucket list. Laci liked the bucket list.
Oh, was that the lost episode?
No. The one where Jack Nicholson and Morgan
I know
Freeman.
what the fuck the bucket list is, sir.
Yeah, that one came out.
That's the episode where I'm trying to tell the story about my junior high teacher and the dinosaurs, and you two won't let me.
Wait, is that clip worthy? That sounds like an animation. Word.
Oh well, you could make it into an animation.
Yeah, where have you been with that?
Sorry, I know I need to think for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, you wish.
So Laci, spoiler alert. Did it suck major balls, GoldenEye?
Oh my god. It sucked each ball individually. It took its
That's
time
nice.
on each
The
ball.
major and the corporal?
At least it's attentive. Here is my prediction.
Oh god.
That's a great picture.
So I last watched GoldenEye in 2022. I've seen it, many times. 5 times maybe in my life. The last time I watched it, I was in the perfect headspace to watch it because it was in the middle of watching all the James Bond movies in a row. And I didn't like it yet again. And my critique was, it's just not fun. It doesn't have the fun spirit of James Bond at its best. James Bond is a fun series, and I thought it just wasn't very much fun. I'm looking forward to watching it again because this movie has universal approval, so I'll try to see what I've been missing. My heart is open. However, I am certain Laci is going to hate this movie. She just... whatever James Bond does, I just don't think she's into. She doesn't like everything he stands for, that misogynistic dinosaur. So we shall see.
Dinosaur.
To be fair,
I was...
I like lots of misogynistic people. Lots of
But you came into the room because we were watching it separately. And you're like, this movie fucking sucks. And I said, yeah, I knew you weren't going to like it. And you're like, why? How did you know that? And it's like, I don't know. I just knew.
Because sometimes misogyny works, and he just
But it's not
doesn't.
that. I don't know.
HR
But let me
nightmare.
say this. Yeah, so I just seen it 2 years ago in sequence with the other Bond movies, and I like Tomorrow Never Dies more than this, which is crazy. But yeah, I've watched it 2 times in the last week, and it's great. I love it.
What the fuck happened to you?
I don't. This time I paid attention, I guess. And this is a blast. I love this movie.
Yay!
No, it's firmly in my top 10 Bonds now.
Fucking mine. Only because.
All right, I take it back. I don't need your approval, Laci. Fuck off.
I don't have a list of the cast names and also Natalia, Bond, and then ravenous bitch here. What is her name?
Xenia.
Her
God,
name is
I love her.
Teresa Thighs.
I almost dressed like her because she's the only thing I like about this movie.
Guys, let's learn about James Bond. We'll do a very brief overview of the history of the man.
First book, he already looks so tired.
1953, he debuts in the novel Casino Royale by Ian Fleming. And Ian Fleming will go on to write 14 total Bond books.
Oh, the Nancy Drew for boys.
That's right.
That was the Hardy Boys.
For British boys.
See?
Writing them from his estate in Jamaica, which was called GoldenEye.
Okay.
That's what this movie's named after.
Really starting to see a little.
Have you read any of the Ian Fleming books?
Of course, I've read 8 or 9 of them. Reading
I
nerds.
I do not think I've read all of them, but I have read most of them.
You like them?
Mostly, yeah. From Russia with Love is, I don't know if it's my favorite. It's really good. It's one of my favorites. Although there is an entire chapter just describing Russian architecture.
Yeah. That's kind of, there's a lot of descriptions of food, of drinks, of coffee, and his thoughts on women. You get much more interiority of James Bond than you
I thought you were
do.
going to say much more interior of women.
In Casino Royale, they even explain in great detail how to play Baccarat.
Yeah, which is nice.
That's actually handy.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Because otherwise it's just people slinging cards and French at each other.
Which is the thing I've always struggled with in the movie is, well, lots of James Bond movies. I don't understand cards, so I don't know what's going on.
Do you? Okay, no, that's just silly. Do you really? Are you being serious? Do you feel like you need to understand the cards to know that if he's winning or losing?
In Casino Royale, I think that knowing what poker is about will at least make the scene a lot more enjoyable because it's like
That's
the
a much
centerpiece
bigger
scene
chunk
of
of
the
the
movie. Is this very high stakes card game?
Do you not like rounders?
Never seen Rounders.
It's great. You don't even understand blackjack.
Yeah. So 1953, that's when the Bond novels start, and then 1962, Albert Broccoli, aka Cubby,
Okay, it is broccoli.
and Harry Saltzman, they purchased the film rights to Bond.
I had a broccoli cubby in school.
Shut up, Wade.
Okay.
Their company, Eon Productions, continues to produce the James Bond movies to this day. Yes, Laci.
You asked me that before I raised my hand. You fucking psychic. Okay, I know that the female body and the use of Bond girls are iconic. They are a part of the situation. They are part of what makes it great. Was it sexually liberating? Did women was there a certain kind of woman? Was this cool? Did women
it was
always
cool.
hate this?
Probably.
Okay.
They're probably always like my silly husband going to his boy fantasy movie. I don't know. I'm not a woman from the 60s.
I just feel like it treats everybody stupid. It's like, hey, look at all these puss and vag. Those are the same thing. Look at these titties, huh? What about a butt? You want to come see the butt movie, boys? Hey, come see some booty.
Sure.
That's what it's doing to you guys, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, no one would argue that the movies are not misogynist and
But if that's
and retrograde. I don't know if I wouldn't say the point in that, like, no, see, it's a critique of masculinity.
What's
and
the one with Halle Berry?
Die Another Day.
I think I saw that because I saw her topless. Or that was
She's
swordfish.
not topless in
The
that.
swordfish.
Yep, you're talking about swordfish.
I saw them
You
titties.
just say things that pop in your head, please. So, the first Bond movie, Dr. No, James Bond, played by Sean Connery, and right from the beginning, all of the hallmarks of James Bond are established, which is why they're so great to this day. Exotic locations, shot on location. And I said this to Laci last night, and she's like, big deal. I could go see it any time.
I said I could Google.
But
Oh, look, Russia.
okay, but like, so Live and Let Die in 1973, a large portion is in New Orleans. You can see New Orleans in 1973. It's fascinating.
Do they show the swamp?
They do, yes. But they're time capsules of times and places.
Fine.
And the movies have the budget and the willingness to actually go to these locations and film there. Big stunts, artful opening title sequence, a big song by a pop star, and then gadgets and
Was
lots
that-
of product placement.
Was that Tina Turner that did the one that we heard?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
These movies in the 60s are huge. Like if you adjusted for inflation, Thunderball from 1966 made more money than Avengers Infinity War.
Wow.
Like they were the Marvel movies of their time.
That's great.
So in 1985, Roger Moore has played Bond 7 times, and he's 58 years old in A View to a Kill.
Did he kiss a lot of people?
Yeah, James Bond's always been a big kisser. I think Roger
That's
Moore
one of my
especially-
favorite theories about James Bond is because you never actually see him in a sex scene, he's not having sex with any of these people.
God, wait, I have a note later in the episode about it. Was, what do you guys think he's like when he has sex as a sexual partner?
He doesn't. He just
He's
he
bad.
he kisses them 3 times and rolls over.
Yeah, I think he's bad. I think he
he's
just
bad.
likes to hug and kiss a lot, and then he
And I'm sure he's asked more
missionary very quickly, and then it's over.
than Missionary Impossible. But I'm sure these asked.
Missionary possible.
Do you think he does anything weird, anything like interesting? Like let a woman be on top?
Well,
It's
On a top?
It's the same as I think of John Hamm in fucking Mad Men. Like you're so attractive. People are constantly telling you how attractive they are. You're getting special treatment left, right, center from people who don't. Even the fucking bad guy in this movie, and I'm not talking about the thigh lady. Even what's his nose is so delighted by this man that he twice lets him run off. He just doing this. That guy.
He's incorrigible.
And when you and he's just when you know you're good looking, you suck at everything else, including conversation and sex.
and everything, because that's another. I think this is more like a internet age theory that like James Bond actually is terrible at his job.
Yes. If you do it through that lens,
and the
it's
reason we're
funny.
following him around is because like you have to see how poorly he fucks up every situation they send him in.
Oh, but he pulls it together in the end.
I'm going to remind me to do my impression
lots
of him.
of times by sheer luck.
Yeah, well, half of all life is luck, James.
The other half, fate.
Fight.
I already beat you guys to it, and I've only seen it twice. Fucking punks.
Load-bearing Sean Bean.
So 1985, it's time for a new actor. A new younger actor, because
His dentures
Roger
keep
Moore in
falling out.
1985 is 58 years old. Daniel Craig is very close to 58 and looks like 30 years younger. So it's time for a new actor. And so they sign, Eon Productions signs 32-year-old Pierce Brosnan to be the new James Bond. He was on TV as Remington Steele.
Even in 1986, it looks like they're de-aging him in this picture.
Yeah.
There he is signing the contract. He's very happy. It's been his lifelong ambition to play James Bond. He loves Sean Connery, but there's an issue. NBC renews Remington Steele and says, you can't play James Bond. So he sadly sulks away, and Timothy Dalton gets cast instead to play James Bond in The Living Daylights.
Personally, I'm glad we live in this timeline. I love both of the Timothy Dalton.
Really?
movies. Yes, I do.
Can I get an up-close picture of this person?
No.
All right.
Timothy
There
Dalton.
isn't one.
He's always
Nobody
running.
ever took one.
No, yeah, the camera glitches out. Yeah, he only
That's why
makes
they call him Bigfoot.
he makes two Bond movies that Wade loves. I watched The Living Daylights this weekend and I liked it. License
That's
to
very
Kill.
much the Russians are the bad guy movie.
Yeah, it looked like a classic Bond movie. License to Kill, I remember, looks like an 80s action movie. Like it's got drug lords and
Yes.
kind of Miami Vice vibes.
Unique in the Bond canon.
That one makes a lot. That is the least well-performing movie in the history of the series.
That is insane to me.
But the plan was Timothy Dalton's going to keep doing it. But there is a lawsuit between Eon and MGM over money, and it gets the
Money
whole
Penny?
money money
Who
pound.
owns Moneypenny? The rights to
Bond.
the name.
Bond owns that pussy.
Like distribution fees, and so it gets held up in court for years. So during this time, Timothy Dalton's contract expires, but finally all that gets resolved, and they go back to Dalton and say, "We want to sign you to a new contract." And he says, "I'd love to play James Bond one more time because License to Kill was not good. I want to do it one more time and get it right." And they said, "If you come back, we need you for more than one movie." So he declines, and they go back to Pierce Brosnan. This time they can get him. So Pierce Brosnan is James Bond. But also in that time, a very important thing happened in the lull, which was
The wall came down.
the Cold War ended.
The wall goes down.
So with no Cold War, what's James Bond going to be about? James Bond's a relic of the Cold War. Since then, What's funny?
Yeah, this is why.
It was a brilliantly chosen picture.
It was.
That's what's funny.
You're trying to get us to react to your pictures, and then you want to yell at us for fucking reacting to your pictures.
It's not yelling. He's just snarky. He's like, yeah, tell me what you think is funny about that.
No, then you haven't been paying attention to the latest episodes of our podcast. Wait.
I'm current.
He loves to get on
I love to yell at her.
I've been offering you help over there.
He just put up a very stupid-looking picture of Pierce Brosnan holding lemonades in Mrs. Doubtfire. He's walking away from the bar with his drinks, smiling like a big idiot, and Doubtfire's about to throw a lemon at him.
Do you want to know a fun fact about me? I've seen GoldenEye 100 million times, and all the other Brosnans multiple times too. Never seen Miss Doubtfire.
I don't think I've seen Mrs. Doubtfire either.
I could recite it.
Yeah? Why don't you go ahead and do that?
All right.
Yeah, turn it around.
There once
Make
was a-
Matt the guest.
Okay, yeah. That's the rest of our lives.
Every Bond movie, starting with GoldenEye, I feel like to some degree or not, maybe not every one, but the sort of idea of James Bond as a person out of time, what's the point of James Bond anymore, is always kind of part of the movies, starting with James Bond, with GoldenEye. So Pierce Brosnan.
Culture is starting to get over him.
Well, you as the archetypal Cold Warrior, representing Britain as the British Empire crumbles and is no longer relevant at all, is this symbol of the old world.
Oh,
how do you fit in this
Mission
new world?
Impossible is American.
Yeah.
I just got that. And James Bond is not.
So Pierce Brosnan, after Remington Steele, he's in Mrs. Doubtfire. He's in The Lawnmower Man.
What is he in The Lawnmower Man? Not
He plays the lawnmower.
No, he
Now he's the scientist. He's the one who makes the Lawnmower Man.
Oh.
And then becomes his victim.
Is his name John Deere?
Yes, his name is John Deere.
Okay.
And then
He plays a head in Mars Attacks.
he does play a head in Mars Attacks. That's the next year. And then he's in like the Thomas Crown Affair.
Which
and
I really, really like.
You said, what's the movie I know Pierce Brosnan from? And I said, Mrs. Doubtfire. You're like, no, asshole.
I really liked the Thomas Crown Affair too.
Yeah,
I
there's
haven't
actual
seen that
chemistry.
in a long time.
He actually knew what he was doing. He looked like he knew what he was doing in the movie.
James Bond is known as a producer-driven franchise. Producers have very tight control. Directors have less control than they do over normal movies. Again, made by a family company, Eon Productions. They hire directors who are going to work within the bounds. But still, they all bring their own style. And Martin Campbell here comes aboard, 50 years old. He's a New Zealand man. He made a TV show for the BBC called Edge of Darkness. And then after GoldenEye, he makes The Mask of Zorro. He makes Vertical Limit, Green Lantern, but he also directs Casino Royale. So he's like the guy who, when you're introducing a new James Bond, you bring him on, and he knocks it out of the park. He's probably
At
too
least
old.
all of the last two times.
The two times he's done it.
Hey, Matt.
No one knows. Yes,
Matt, what visuals are you relying on to tell your story here?
a poster of The Mask of Zorro, a poster of
I
Vertical
don't
Limit.
know that because it's part of the movie. It is the essence of the
okay.
movie.
What about Edge of Darkness?
I mean, look at Casino
It
Royale
just looks like a
poster.
screenshot.
That's shit. But look
Part of the show.
Look at that. I want to watch that because of that poster. Look at how they did the double O's with the guns. That's so smart. Marketing, graphic design.
Very good marketing and graphic
Lord's
design.
work.
Very worthy. The Lord's work, I say. It's just not part of the movie. If you were defining what a movie is, you had to make a legal definition of what the movie is. You would not include the poster.
You're playing God.
In the hypothetical, you're allowed to play God. That's what the point of the question
Okay, well
is.
then here, look how fun this argument is. If you were defining a movie, if you were gun to your head, you would include the movie art. See, look, I just undid your whole world because we both get to play
Well,
God.
fine. Yeah, that's why this
Stupid.
is not as interesting as I thought it would be to talk about it.
Oh, glad we're not.
Well, that's our history. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's in a great mood. Now we'll talk about the movie. Lacey's going to love this as we go through it very thoroughly.
Okay, I did like how he dropped in on the pooper there. But okay, all right. There I am responding to the damn graphics on the screen.
The movie opens, and Pierce Brosnan, our first look at him as James Bond. We've been waiting since 1986 to see him as James Bond.
And what does he look like? Looks like a stunt
A
man.
fucking
Well-
idiot. He's a stunt man with the reddest face. Though he looks like a dog's dick. He's just like,
He bungees off of a giant dam. It's very cool.
it's not cool.
Again, these movies are great because they have real stunts
Sure.
and real giant sets. They filmed this on a real dam, the Versata Dam in Switzerland.
Okay, so it's real when he gets down there and he takes his little tiny gun and goes pew, and it connects to the thingy, and then he.
No, that's movie magic.
That part is not the stunt.
Yeah, it's all very dumb.
This
Okay.
is on-screen text shows us this is the USSR, the Archangel Chemical Weapons Facility. But wait, this is 1995. The USSR doesn't exist anymore.
Flashback.
What's going on?
Flashback.
That's right, it's a flashback. James Bond infiltrates by going into the bathroom and doing a quip at the Russian man who's taking a shit.
Not offended by the smell at all. So I mean, that's how you know he's hardcore.
That's how you know he's the best. And then he meets up with Sean Bean, his partner, Alec.
I did get
aka
excited.
006.
I got excited to see another guy. That
Mm-hmm.
guy's got charisma. I'd keep watching him.
Every now and then you see James Bond on a buddy mission, but it's pretty rare.
Right, because he's not
He's
shallow.
Han Solo.
No, he will always be alone. He has to cut himself off to the world. That's why
That's
that
true.
heartfelt exchange between Bond and Natalia in Cuba. When she's like, "What do you like as a man?" You know?
I'm unattached.
That's why it's so emotionally
It is that
effective.
simple.
So, yeah, but things go cross-eye because they get captured by a bunch of Russian operatives and
They were ready.
I've watched this movie 2 times the past week, and yet I still don't exactly understand what the significance of the 3 minutes thing is.
It was supposed to be 6.
Why does he
If
do
it had been
this?
6 minutes, then he could have gotten out. And because the ruse was he's not really going to die, it would have given him time to get out and not get scarred on his face.
Right. He's expecting to have twice as much time to get out after the ploy.
Right.
Who's expecting?
Alec Trevelyan is
The
expecting.
blonde.
Wait, so okay, wait. James sets the timer for 3 minutes,
Yeah.
Yes.
but he was anticipated to do it for 6.
Yes.
Yes.
That was the
Okay.
plan.
Okay.
So when he sets it for 3, that's James Bond calling it audible. That
Shit's not right here.
yeah.
And that guy's going to die anyway. I
Is
might
he-
as well make sure the rest of them die.
Well, they come out, they hold Alec at gunpoint. They're going to shoot him. Alec says, "Do it, James. Do it for England." And they shoot him, or do they? And then we meet the villainous General Uramov, and I like that he shoots one of his underlings
They're also tidy. They
How
look
does
like
he do that?
with a gun.
in the chest.
But he just shot Trevelyan in the head. That was revealed to not have actually happened. So what's in the gun?
Well, he doesn't have to actually fire the gun where you can see him doing it, right? He could just fire to the side of him or something.
Do you have an answer?
No. This is
Yeah,
not
I
a
don't know.
gotcha.
I didn't think about how they actually pull off.
Because
the
if he
thing.
like
don't
shoots the floor next to him, you're gonna hear and see that. And then a second later, he turns around and
Okay.
shoots
Will you
this
shoot a
guy
beanbag
dead.
at him?
Well, if they're going to set up this
Maybe
to make
shove a
it look like a
beanbag.
real shot, then why not also bury somebody in the crowd to be like, look, disobey me. I'm going to shoot you. It's going to, that way you get their attention and everyone else falls in line.
Damn, this movie has
Ooh.
layers.
Yeah.
Well,
Those damn Russians.
yeah.
Look
Bond
at
has
his
a narrow escape. He
stupid
jumps off the cliff and
Face.
catches the plane. You don't know if he's going to make it.
Yes,
Is
you
Bond
do.
going to die right here in the first 8 minutes of the movie? No, he makes it to the plane. He pulls up. It's very exciting. It's a great
No.
opening.
He might as well rode a shark to that plane. It was so.
It's one of the best
Lacey, these are
openings
stupid
of
movies.
a Bond film.
You could say that, but like Mission Impossible does insane things, and they all feel so real and have stakes, and they're interesting, and it makes me want to see this guy succeed. This no one could do, so it's
No, but he just did
stupid.
it. That's how you know he can do it. Like, you can't do the things Ethan Hunt does.
Tom Cruise.
Also, you know what? You know what had not ever come out when this movie was made? Mission Impossible.
right? Again, I'm at a disadvantage for not.
Yes,
having
but you
seen
can
this in
approach a
real time.
movie and say, you
No.
know what? Mission Impossible didn't exist at the time. I can kind of activate my head to calibrate my expectations.
I
I'm
get why
watching
it-
something from a different time.
I get why a little boy would like this. Moving on.
I guess.
It's the same reason why you look at the dancing movie and you don't get why it's so appealing and enthralling to me.
I
It's
do.
just-
I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Just
get it.
that dancing wasn't shot very well. That was my point. But the dancing in the opening credits of GoldenEye shot very well. This is Tina Turner performed song written by Bono and The Edge. Laci, do you like this song?
Sounds like a Bond song. The only one I really like is the one sung by Adele.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You don't like that one?
No.
I just like Adele's voice.
I like that one. Do you like the opening credits, Laci?
No, it's
Okay.
a fever dream of bullshit. It's like Easter Island, but with sexy women on top of the heads.
Sean Bean's name comes up first. So Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye, starring Sean Bean. And if you're paying attention, you're like, but Sean Bean just died. Why would he be this high in the credits? Oh, wait a minute. He must not be dead. That's my only critique of these credits. They're great. They're trying to do. I mean, the whole idea with Pierce Brosnan is let's go back to Sean Connery. Let's make it less goofy, but still have the fun, but also the danger of those 1960s movies. So with Tina Turner, they're trying to get like a Shirley Bassey style song, be like Goldfinger or whatever.
Yeah. GoldenEye.
So then what happens, Laci?
James, you're incorrigible. Okay, so here's his first sexual assault. I guess he's in a relationship with this woman that he's in the car with. He takes her on a death ride.
No, she's just a psychiatrist who's been sent to evaluate him.
Yeah, they have the same boss or something.
Fantastic.
That's their relationship.
Great. Call HR. All right, so he for no fucking reason is driving so incredibly fast on this hill. It's so cool. What a man. And now there's a batshit crazy woman who he's just outright said to the woman who's sitting next to him, like, here's the next lady. You're not anything to me. I'm also putting your life in danger, and I'm not actually listening to you, and you don't count. I count.
We know he's incorrigible, so...
abusive, and then he does the cool pull over or stop the car this moment. Well, he had already planned to stop there because it was a lookout point, make out area anyway. So he didn't even really listen to her. He stops the car. He's got champagne, and so now he's forgiven, and they fuck.
Yeah.
Did I capture?
Yeah, this is when I
where they kiss 3 times and then he drops her off. Lookout and drives away.
Have a great night, madam. Yeah, I knew Lacey was gonna fucking hate this.
Who's having fun here? He almost killed all the bikers, and he knocked over all their bikes. They probably all got scratch knees.
But the doctor's having fun. She gets one over. You're such an asshole, but I can't help it. I'm powerless to resist you.
Here's my note. I can't think of any interaction he has with a female in any of the moments of this movie where they walk away and the next day they feel good about themselves, where they don't feel like they just got totally sucked into something that is absolutely meaningless to the person they just
That's a pretty common thread in the movies too, is like sex with James Bond is ultimately a negative impact on
yes.
Right.
the other person.
And there's a reading that he only does it for personal gain. He's not doing it because of the conquest, but because this is how I'll get a good review.
Yeah. This
is how I'll get the intel I need.
Right.
So for him, it's not actually about a sexual drive.
Good review.
Though this is a sexual drive.
Thanks for the sex. Yelp me.
You've seen this movie hundreds of times. Okay. Well, the sexy lady is Xenia Onatopp Famke Janssen, who's one of the villains of the movie. Is it just a coincidence that they drive by each other? Was he tailing her? Was she tailing him? Do we know why they cross each other's path right here?
No, I think it just happens.
And then in the next scene, he's tracked her to a casino.
Terrible answer.
I wonder. Yeah.
Why is he here for this casino situation?
I always just took for granted that it was a coincidence.
Well, yeah, because he runs her plates after that. Like, he looks up to see who she is, and the stupid fucking paper comes out of the goddamn ashtray or whatever. So he saw her. The license plate seems suspicious. He runs the plate, or like takes his picture with his like cock ring or whatever the hell he did, and then something came out of the ashtray, and then he went to a casino game.
The whole movie happens because he ran a license plate?
Yeah, he even then gives her sass about her license plate later. You don't pay attention.
Because he's so...
I know all of those things happen, but
because James Bond is so erudite that he knows a counterfeit license plate when he sees one.
Yes, that is like James Bond, but the whole story of the movie, he gets involved simply because he was curious about the license plate?
Yeah, no one put him on this mission. He's just like fumbling around fucking Russia or wherever he is, having sex with people and hoping it leads to something.
Yeah, sometimes...
I ran your plates.
Sometimes
he's just a traffic cop, and they're like, "Go ahead."
He's given a mission.
I'll write you a ticket.
They go to the sexy casino. And then what happens?
Is it sexy? I don't know. She's a vampire now for some reason. And they play cards with no words on them, and she
No
loses.
numbers.
Fine. And he wins, and that makes her very mad. And then they do not fuck.
Yeah, but they have some sexy double entendre.
Do they?
Well, it's coded as sexy. What are you doing here? I am playing cards. You're playing cards, are you? What's your favorite card?
Pussy.
I love that the cards have no numbers.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, that's how you know it's classy.
It looks very classy.
You can only do this if you know what you're doing.
Xenia, Famke Jensen, she's Georgian, and Bond knows that just from her accent. Well, although if he ran the plates, he has the intel. But he doesn't get the readout until later.
The plate was not from Russia.
That's true.
He doesn't pay attention, Wade.
Just by your accent, you're Georgian, and Russia's very different now. This movie's all about people adjusting to the new world, the new post-Soviet world.
Guys, it's 7 years later.
It's 9 years later, sorry.
It's 7 years later.
9 years later.
It's 7. Wade.
It does say 9 years later in the movie.
And then you have to subtract 2 because it's Russia.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
It
sorry,
says
7.
9 years in Cyrillic.
Wow.
Yeah. I was just saying that to win. All right. Carry on. This fucking bitch. She is unglued. Oh, it's my... Okay, it's mine. And now we get to... She's already... Tell me her name?
Xenia.
Xenia is zany as hell, and there is not a scene where she isn't just having the best psychotic episode of her life. She left the casino with her mark. I think this man is someone who is in the military, who she knows is going to have possession or be next to the helicopter she wants to steal the next day. So she's got to go thigh fuck him and kill him for some reason and take his
ID.
His accoutrement.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Thank you.
Yes.
You know what I noticed for the first time this go around though is you never see who she's with that
Yeah.
is supposed to be using the the ID.
Oh yeah, no, he's unveiled.
But you can see that he's wearing a fake beard to look like this guy.
But it's just the Russian general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You never see his face, but you do see someone wearing a beard with her.
From the filmmaking is supposed to suggest, wait a minute, who is her mystery partner? Who is it going to be? Is it James Bond? Now, Laci, when we were watching this movie last night, when I said, Xenia's deal is that she gets erotic pleasure from violence, and Laci's like, you couldn't be more wrong.
You're not right. She's not sexually turned on. She's just excited about killing. Everything she does that is sexual is putting her an advantage in a place where she can get closer than she otherwise could not, just like the way James Bond does it.
You don't
it's
think
not
that
for
the
sex.
performance,
it is utility.
That the actor isn't playing
Do
it?
you think when the Joker is letting the world burn and Heath Ledger is doing his thing and he's really enjoying all the chaos, is he fucking turned on, Matt?
No.
Neither is she. She is the
but
Joker.
It's in the performance. Wade, what do you say?
No,
I think she is.
All right, I pulled up some clips.
full of shit. You're only saying
That
that
is
because she's
actually a thing.
attractive.
It's in the performance.
But she's not orgasming. She's excited.
That's not a
noises?
sexual noise she's making. That's not
People-
excitement. That's sexy. It's film semiotics. It communicates to the audience you are turned on right now by what you're doing. It does not show that you're excited. If she was excited, she would not make that noise.
It is meant to show you that she is unapologetic about killing. There is no one she wouldn't kill. That this is something that is very exciting to her.
No.
Can I say one of my catchphrases on this show? You're both right.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
This is how he.
Fuck
She
you,
enjoys-
Wade.
she's psychotic. She's got it dialed up to 140.
Well, I just don't think.
Oh, well, here I come.
She doesn't actually want to fuck him. They would never even get to that part.
Yes, I know, but he hurts her, and then she's like, "Oh yes, hurt
She
me."
hurts him first. Wait, watch her face when he pulls her. When she falls to the floor, it is the craziest face. Ow! That's gonna hurt for days, bitch.
Yeah.
Even the
That
subtitles
face?
agree with me. Moans with pleasure.
She's doing that to disarm him.
No, but she got hurt. He's hurting her, and she's like, "My favorite, being hurt." You can't hurt me because I love pain.
This is how you know it's not about sex. He's not even in her.
It doesn't have to be penetrative.
It is all in the performance. The actors, the Famke Jensen's direction from Martin Campbell is play this as if violence turns you on.
This isn't Thursday night
Fine.
HBO.
Fine. I'm just saying that she doesn't actually ever plan on having sex with any of them.
Should
That's
I
not what
disconnect
my
from your
claim
Wi-Fi? I'm
was.
trying to log on to the Wikipedia page for lust murder.
Oh,
Don't let Wade Google things.
Lust murder,
No.
also called sexual homicide, is a homicide which occurs in tandem with either an overt sexual assault or sexually symbolic behavior.
that's what's happening.
Does it say that the person orgasms? No.
No, she's gooning.
She's edging.
Yeah.
This isn't the edge of tomorrow. That's a movie.
So something else I noticed watching this movie for the first time, if I might double us back to the credits for a second,
All right.
is the costume designer is Lindy Hemming.
So it's
for costume.
there's a word for that when your name
name
is what
sound.
you do. Like Kramer says, if an ice cream man's name was Cone. 'Cause that's what she does. She hems. That's nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Or if your name was Strummer, Wade Strummer.
Yeah.
Or Wade.
What the fuck? Oh, I thought you were trying to say drummer and you're just bad at words.
If your name was Wade Sticks.
Let's strum strum the drums.
So, Savernaya.
Wow.
Sierra
The this satellite computer facility in Siberia where we meet Natalia.
More sexy stuff. Alan Cumming.
Well, Natalia's played by Isabella Scorupco.
I do love Alan Cumming.
And then Boris Alan Cumming. And an all-time iconic performance.
Yeah.
I feel like Boris will live beyond all of us.
Yeah.
Just a great little shitty little fucking weasel guy.
If there is one like quotable line from this movie, it's "I'm invincible."
And when he said it, and then I watched almost the rest of the movie, and I'm like, I guess he only said it one time. I remember him saying it every 10 minutes.
It
But
happens
he does
twice.
Then he
in
says it twice at the end
close
of the movie.
succession. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just iconic. What a performance.
But when he shouts it in the computer room and it just echoes and everyone stares at, like, that's, it's what they call iconic.
I call it movie heaven. It's like demo heaven, but with movies.
Anyway, I do love in this like kind of pre-technology world, there's technology and you don't really know where it's going.
Love 90s computers.
But like
that was so great.
The over design of what he has there, little face, like what is this?
Well,
in 1995, the internet as a thing was so new that if you made a movie, like all you had to do was say, "Oh, they're on the internet," and that justifies whatever appears on the screen. I was thinking about this the entire scene.
And the people making the movie don't actually know what the internet looks like.
No, they
so
do
they're
not.
like,
Right. And then the last movie before this was License to Kill, where when someone has to go on a computer, they have to look around for one of those very gold compact discs, and then they slide it into a very loud tray, and there's lots of beeping, and then all that comes up on the screen is green letters. And now here we are in this whole new, like, even Russia has computers now.
Well, right. And they're hackers, right? That's what they think they're doing. They're fucking with the United States in some kind of way.
yeah.
He is. I
Yeah,
think
but she
he's
is
just doing it
too.
for
She's a
fun.
programmer. I don't know what their actual
To
job
do
description
what?
is.
It's never
don't-
specified.
They don't seem to know what
You
they're
go on a
actually
computer
there
and you go
for.
like this.
And it's funny how, good job. It's funny how much they type like that for on a screen that has like giant font of 5 words. Yeah, I'm just looking at this while I'm typing
or
that.
tiny font in a box that's a 64th of the screen.
But at least they're typing something. They're just typing and there's nothing on the screen that has anything to do with it.
Well, the between this and Jurassic Park, I think they thought that a crucial part of computing was you have a cartoon version of yourself on screen.
And they weren't wrong. Look who's on the screen right now, Matt.
Oh my God.
Right. It's just that they were advanced.
Yeah. Boris, he's hacking into the U.S. Defense Department. This movie, it's a new world. Used to be we spied by going in and being sexy and playing cards. Now we just type on our computers.
There you go.
But Boris can get into the U.S. Department of Defense, and he is invincible. And then the Tiger helicopter that was stolen earlier, it arrives.
I like how bad they are at driving the helicopter, too. It's just like, look what I got.
Well, yes, but it's good for a non-pilot. Like, it's impressive that they did.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, there's no suspicion
She's
at all.
supposed to be a pilot.
She is? Okay, well, she sucks then.
But she's driving with her thighs.
It's part of the car ashtray printout. Ex-Soviet fighter pilot.
Oh.
Anyway, she's steering with her labia, and that's why she's bad at it. But
Do you think that's what she just
probably
she just put the stick between her thighs and is going, oh.
I do think that. And I think one's in the stink because there's two. You hold it like that.
Oh.
Okay. But does that not tip them off though immediately when they drive off the helipad like this? It's just like,
wait a minute, they're going toward Russia.
No, it's just like the nose
You
is
need to drive
down.
toward here in Paris.
Mon Dieu.
I don't mean that they took a turn. I mean that they clearly had the ass end of the helicopter too high. They didn't know what they were doing with it. It was like
All
kids
those
in a trench coat.
Yeah, all those
jumped in
French
there.
military people, but they were too distracted by their cigarettes and wine.
Also, that part in Toy Story 3 whenever Barbie pretends to be Ken in the spacesuit, but she still has the high heels on?
Sure.
That's what she looked like, going off to get into the helicopter. I'm a pilot.
But
she's
you're
like
a sexy lady.
Sexy lady pilot.
Yeah, well, they show up on the scene. General Uramov, he acts like, I'm still your boss. Now give me the access codes. They do. And he's like, thanks for these. And now I'm going to shoot you in the face. And he shoots all of them. And then she does too. And she has some big orgasms.
And machine guns are doing some heavy lifting in this fucking movie. No one's got to be good at anything. Just, I mean, it's every fucking scene.
Again, it's this world now. We're all about machine guns. We used to be about precision.
Were machine guns a part of every James Bond movie?
No.
Okay.
No. And certainly a tank was never a part of a James Bond movie.
Has anyone ever looked more like a stupid little asshole than him while driving that tank?
We'll get to it.
He might as well had a little cup of tea with him.
We'll get to it. But Natalia, she survived because she was getting a cup of coffee. And also Boris survives because he was out getting a cigarette. So good timing for both of them.
Yeah, they really checked all
But
their fucking
the
bases.
cigarette was part of his cover.
Yes,
Wait,
I know.
we
Okay.
know. Do you need some help over there, honey? Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right, now we're back at Bond headquarters, and we
Bond
meet
headquarters.
At Bond headquarters, sorry, at M headquarters, MI6.
Right next door to Demo Heaven.
And we meet the new crew. We've got a new Bond crew for the 90s. Samantha Bond is playing Moneypenny. Judi Dench is M, but she's a woman.
Wait, we're keeping track, right? That's the second sexual harassment HR issue of the day. Is the Moneypenny scene? Go on.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with James Bond and Moneypenny is he sexually harasses her and she says, "Oh, James," but they never actually fuck.
That's so
That's their
Right,
That's
because
their
her
game.
comeback is like he sexually harasses her and she says, well, you better marry me then.
Or you better actually fuck me one day.
You better
Quit
actually give me an orgasm, and he's like, "That oof, that's one thing I can't do."
kissing me 3 times and then turning off all the lights in the building. Like, James.
What was the one? It must have been Goldfinger that I was watching
Ew.
recently where she actually says, it was Goldfinger. The only gold I know about is on the 3rd finger of your left hand.
Oh, what?
So he's sexually harassing her and she's basically saying, well, fucking marry me then. And then she even like tosses his hat on the hat rack like he does.
That's also the one, Laci, where this woman named Pussy Galore, who is canonically a lesbian, he sexually harasses her so good that she turns straight for him.
Yeah.
It's
It's
truthful.
good cinema though.
If it were, I'd enjoy it. And I'll give it a whirl. I'll watch a different movie, just not this one ever again, please.
Again, this is a new world, and M. This is M as a woman played by Judi Dench, and not only is she a woman with ovaries, but she plays numbers, not hunches. She relies on statistical analysis, and this butts up against Bond, who's like, "I got a feeling about that woman in that Tiger helicopter," and she says, "I don't care about your feeling. Again, I go by the data. I go by what I read in my briefs." But immediately, Bond gets
even Bill
proven
Tanner
right.
seems to have like that like I trust my scotch kind of mentality about.
Yeah, he says
mission.
the evil queen of numbers won't let you play your hunch, Bond, and then M overhears him.
If I want sarcasm, Mr. Tanner, I'll talk to my children, thank you very much.
Who I never talked to until I wouldn't start now.
But they happen to see footage on screen right there of the Severnaya facility blowing up, and they see the Tiger helicopter escaping, and
She's really
there's
trying
one
to prove.
person running out of the facility who's still alive.
Can we just point out how much she's trying to prove herself? God, does she want them to know she read the report?
Yeah.
Poor M. So you can't get any respect from these guys. Yes, I know what a fucking pedal is. I think I would breastfeed me. That's what she wants. Those are head boys.
And yeah, the Bond realizes this is the GoldenEye. It can shoot an EMP and destroy every electrical circuit in 30 miles. And you know who's behind this? It's the Janus Group. So he goes into M's office and this is a great scene. Judi Dench dresses him down. Says,
But then it's still nice at the end.
That's what's nice about it. That's why the
I don't-
relationship's so great.
They don't know each other that well yet. Earn it.
But this is the first crack in the ice.
No.
She knows
she's
he's still a
ugly
great
to-
agent.
She's ugly to Tanner because he's not that attractive. He gets treated like this because he's cute. It's boring.
But he's also good. He's good at his job. She knows he gets results. And she wants to
But
rein
she has
him
to
in
remind
a
him not to
little.
die on the way out the
He's
door.
expensive as fuck. Do you see what he did to the streets?
Yes, his taste is very expensive. He always charges caviar to the crown in whatever hotel room he goes to.
This scene is so funny if you think of it in in every detail through the lens of James Bond is really the worst at his job.
Yes.
And they're just sending him out like, have fun out there, little buddy. Try not to die.
Yeah, I like that. In my head, he's good at what he does.
Me too,
In
but
his head
it's just
too.
another lens.
Yeah. But this is also because, Bernard Lee played M until 1979. And did anybody else play M between
Robert
there?
Brown.
Okay.
He plays someone who's not M in one of the last Bernard Lee ones. Then they had one with no M. And then I guess Robert Brown played M in 4 movies.
Oh.
Octopussy, View to a Kill, Living Daylights, and License to Kill.
I
He's the one who takes away Timothy Dalton's license in License to Kill.
I
Spoiler.
read this as symbolically she's taking over for Bernard Lee, but I guess not. I guess there's been too much time. But she's, references her predecessor. But we're like, as
Robert
like,
Brown does look like a cognac drinker, doesn't he?
yeah,
Thank you.
I don't know.
I'll be over here if you need me.
Okay, great.
So yeah, it's a different world. What is the point of James Bond in a post-Cold War world, in a world of computers, in a world of data? What is his role? And also in a world where you have to respect women in the workplace? I don't know. We'll see. We'll watch the rest of this movie to see.
He's not the mama.
Dinosaur reference.
You're welcome.
Well, we go over to Russia where the official Russian government is speaking with General Urumov, and he blames the explosion on Siberian separatists, but they're skeptical because they say that there were 2 missing analysts from the facility. He's like, 2? I only knew about 1. They're like, but you said you investigated thoroughly. I don't know. There's a long tradition in Bond movies of you have like good Russians and renegade Russians so that you don't have to say like the Soviets are bad. If the Soviets actually are the bad guys, you can just blame it on either Spectre, who were who were terrorists or were breakaway Russians, or you have like Russian rebels or whatever.
As long as they got the accent.
Do they use real Russians for this?
I don't know.
How does Russia feel about these movies?
Isabella Skorup.
I think she's
Polish.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she was
Not
So,
Russian.
convincing.
no, but you're getting close.
Getting
You're getting
closer.
close. They got closer than Chernobyl did.
Yeah, where they're all British.
Yeah.
Call
the fire brigade.
we have our scene with Q, and Laci, not knowing 007 movies, doesn't know that this delightful man, Desmond Llewellyn, has been playing Q since 1963.
And he is a QT.
He only has 1 scene per movie, and this guy who is like this icon to so many people basically got paid a day rate for 1 day of work every 2 years for 30 years. To like be simultaneously amused and annoyed at James Bond, who makes a bunch of jokes. And
Sometimes they get to do more with him, and I always like I like more Q.
Octopussy, he gets to do some stuff in the field.
In License to Kill, he goes all the way out to wherever they are in Central America.
I wanted to watch that one. I ran out of
Well,
time.
his arms, he clearly has whatever happens whenever you have diabetes. I don't think he could do much in this. I mean, he's near hospital visit in his arms and hands.
On the James Bonding podcast, they track the quality of his fingernails throughout the years of what they look like.
Well,
Wow.
Well, I mean, he's got gout or something. Like, he's got something going
He
on.
died 4 years after this, but in a car accident.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they gives him the gadgets, and then Bond picks up this giant pristine sandwich, and Q is like, "That's my lunch." And
Because I'll bet in a previous one that was a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
well,
Not specifically, but probably. I mean, it's
Laci, you do this one.
Oh, I would fucking love to. Okay, now we meet the only American, and I guess I don't know if it's the only American. I don't remember. He's an idiot, and of course he has a country accent of some kind. Texas? I don't know.
Well, it's just a great contrast to the classic debonair British spy.
It's great.
and also a contrast to the usual Felix Leiter,
That's
who's like
true.
a little bit more buttoned up and put together CIA guy, and this one's sort of more
Does
like
MI6 and CIA usually buddy up on shit?
Sure.
All right then.
Oh, yeah. If you got a democratic government somewhere that they don't like, they'll send you in to topple it right away.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not really sure why he needs help and he can't get his own fucking car, but he's now what, in St. Petersburg?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and he meets up with Jack Wade, and he needs to make sure that he is who he says he is, but he won't say the fucking code. So he sort of pinches him a little with a tiny blue door. That'll get him. He's like, "Oh, I can tell you really mean it." See if anyone's getting turned on by the violence. It's Jack Wade. He's like, "Fuck yeah, I'll tell you." Little lambs had a. I don't remember the.
Do you like this guy?
Yeah, I like him. I especially like him at the end. He's fine.
This is Jodan
I don't
Baker.
love him here. I like him later.
Jodan Baker playing Wade. And he was in Living Daylights 2 movies earlier as a totally different character.
Okay.
A
As a
villain.
bad guy, yeah.
Same hat.
And Roger Ebert had the Jodan Baker rule that no movie with Jodan Baker can be bad. And yeah, it's just James Bond shows up and he's like, the winter in St. Petersburg is blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what? Because he doesn't want to play along with your British shenanigans.
Fuck you. My car's over there.
Come on, Jimbo.
My American car with the seat on the wrong side. Well, give me a hammer.
Well, no, it's a Soviet car. That's funny because he said it'll never let me down. And then it cuts right away to it being broken down. That's very funny. You like this movie. No one's ever. Well, James needs this guy because this guy's on the ground in St. Petersburg. He knows all the criminal elements there that are running around in the crazy Russia of
I mean,
the
yeah,
90s.
if you want somebody that can be stealth and like fit into the scenery, you definitely go with this guy who's just stalking around. Like, I just really want to get plugged in this St. Petersburg. Anybody heard about any
But
Russians?
he knows it works out. He knows where to point him. He points him to Zukovsky, who Bond already knows. He's Janice's big rival. Janice. Nobody's ever actually seen the head of the Janice group. He's a total mystery. I wonder if he's played by a well-known actor. Yeah, and then meanwhile, Natalia goes into a computer store to use one of the computers. And we cut to, she emails Boris, and then we cut to him, and he
That
gets
poor
a giant.
IBM guy. He really thought he was going to be making a big
sale,
sell.
I want 35 computer.
And she's mean to him.
We see a big incoming email graphic on Boris's screen, which is what happens when you get an email. Has her meet up in a church, but then she gets taken by Xenia on the top, and
Because you can't trust anyone. He told you in the fucking email, man.
that's true.
Can't
Trust no
anyone.
one,
Trust no one.
including me.
Boris!
So they go into Zukovsky's bar.
Stand by your mind.
And this is like a American themed bar. I love American themed bars in other countries. And you have these Russian ladies, including Minnie Driver,
Yeah, Mini Driver. Random.
3 years before Good Will Hunting, singing Stand By Your Man.
But when was
Wow.
Gross Point Blank? That's the question.
98,
I don't know what year this movie is, so.
95.
Okay.
This guy.
I do really like this American bar in a Soviet alley that's just like what even are they in? Because when they pull up outside the building, it just looks like a storage container.
I
Where
don't
do you
know.
find
So
a red
it is an interesting peek into sort of this how like, you know, Western society. Like now it even infiltrates the darkest corners of.
Well, it's, the Soviet Union's over. It's the new Russia of the 90s. We're democratizing, we're westernizing, we're opening up the floodgates to capitalism, and this is what happens. And then this guy who's like he's a dinosaur himself. He knows how to operate in the old Soviet system, and he's trying anything. I'll even try an American bar. But yeah, James Bond shows up. He knows Bond by the sound of his gun. It's really cool. And this guy's played by Robbie Coltrane, Hagrid, who just died in 2022. And he will come back in The World Is Not Enough, where he's very good.
Agreed.
All right. Then what happens during the fuck fight, Laci? No, Wade. What happens during the fuck fight?
The fuck fight takes place just on the outside of the coolest swimming pool that I've never been to.
They're just in a spa, right?
No, he's swimming in a pool.
I see that
I know
pool
he's
and
a
I
pool.
want to
He's
get in
at
it.
a spa. That's a steam room right there. He's at
Yeah.
a like place that has several places to relax.
Let's
He's at a
debate
spa.
what the definition of a spa is.
Oh my God, a spa can be the thing you swim in, and it can be the place you go to that has a pool. That is where they are, because now they're in the steam room. There's they have robes, all the hallmarks of a place where you go to spa.
It's at like some nice hotel or something.
No,
Yeah.
it's a freestanding.
No,
It
it's
doesn't-
not.
I don't think it has to be within a hotel.
I
It's
think
not.
it is.
Usually it isn't.
Well, I'm not saying it has to be. I think this one is. He's at his nice hotel.
It is at a hotel.
If someone does not move on, go Wade.
What's your favorite hotel pool?
The Regency Hyatt. Come on.
So he goes to meet his contact for Yanis. Ends up meeting / getting ambushed by her, Zinnia, and but he gains the upper hand and makes her take him to Statue Park, where they keep all of the other dead Soviet relic
But wait,
statue.
he puts her bare ass on the fucking steam thing. It's got a pattern on it, the steam grid. I want to see her butt. Missed opportunity.
Well, again, it's not HBO Thursday night. We can't see the steamed butt.
They go to the Soviet graveyard, statue graveyard, and we reveal that the Janus guy is actually Alec, back from the dead. And he reveals we spent all that time toppling regimes and all for what? For the British government to say, good job, here's a gold watch and a anonymous plaque on a wall or something. But it turns out like his parents were the Cossacks who collaborated with the Nazis in World War II, but then were turned over by the British to Stalin.
And MI6 knew this, but they didn't care because he's a baby.
Yeah.
We know,
My
but he
favorite part
doesn't.
of this dialogue is when he's trying to goad James Bond into a witty quip. And when he finally says, the two-faced Roman god come to life, he gets indignant and, it wasn't God who gave me this face!
Sorry, I thought you were setting me up. Yeah, I mean, I think that what I liked about this movie this time was sort of actually paying attention to the themes to try to, because I think this movie is both about like people out of time and the changing world, but also the blowback of everything that, like intelligence agencies do. And like, why is every Mission Impossible movie, why is the villain somebody who used to work for, an intelligence agency? It's like, this is the nature of this thing. You send these people out to learn these skills and do all this illegal shit. And of course, we're eventually going to disavow you and then you're going to turn on us. And also, like, it's very 1995 because it's like, we're looking back, the Cold War's over, and all that bad stuff we used to do, that's all history. Everything's good now. The world will always be good and peaceful now. It's the end of history. So yeah, I like this, and I really like Sean Bean here. Good job, Sean Bean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done, old boy.
Wake up, mister. Hey, mister.
Lacey.
Oh, God. I didn't totally understand why they put them in the helicopter. Just one more situation where they're going to like kill them and then put them in the helicopter, right? They're supposed to like set off missiles or something.
He keeps putting James Bond in a timed situation.
No. They put him here because they all need to get out of the way, but he also needs to set off some missiles or whatever so that something can be pinned on him or that something can be tied back to this helicopter. I know there's a reason, but like use someone else. Or fucking kill him, take his teeth out, put his teeth in another man's head, make sure he's dead, and then put him in the fucking helicopter. It's so stupid.
Well, it's that 6 minutes thing. He wants him to know that he's about to die while seeing a timer.
Oh, that's so fucking convenient. Which is why Austin Powers makes fun of this over and over and over again.
I just think you can't watch a James Bond movie and be mad about that because there'd
I'm
be
not
no
mad.
movies.
I'm just not entertained. Okay.
So when the
I'm not
general
mad.
in
I'm
Gladiator
just disappointed.
says, "Are you not entertained?" Your answer would be, "Well, wait.
Try
Are you
again.
not entertained?" Yes.
Yes, I am not entertained.
and this
That's
is
some ass.
the weakest fucking one-liner because it's like, even now, James, even now. Is that his name? Yeah. Okay. The things we do for freaking Flower Miles. Throw an orange at his head. Where's Mrs. Doubtfire when you need her? Fucking whack him.
This is where Bond meets Natalia. They're trapped in a helicopter together.
And they fall in love. Just amazingly in love.
Not right away.
Not at all. It never happens.
I appreciated that they waited a good, 6.5 minutes before the snogging.
But then she can't even, she fucks him or has lights off with him and then rolls over on top of him and says, did you mean what you said when you said I didn't mean anything to you? You mean the second fucking 10 minutes that he knew you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he meant that. You're kind of an albatross around his neck. He could have been alive.
Yeah, but she's
Random woman.
Well, yeah, but she's not part of this world. She doesn't understand how hard people can be.
And then he makes a joke and she goes, oh, you stop it. And they never fucking get to any kind of real talk. He has no real talk. He can't talk real. This is the worst facial hair in the history of facial hair.
What?
This man's beard is upsetting.
I love his triangle goatee.
Oh my God. It's
the defense
not
minister, the Russian defense
anyone.
minister, Pushkin, who's interrogating him.
It's like,
Mishkin?
Pushkin was in Living Daylights.
Sorry.
How can I signal jawls without having a big saggy face? Oh, I know. I'll use the hair that I have to make it look like I'm like this.
Hair jowls.
Hey. It's horrible. Okay, Matt.
I think the Russian general in this movie in an early draft was supposed to be Pushkin from Living Daylights.
Oh.
I did. That was a thing I read. I'm not just making that up.
It should have been. We get some continuity.
Look at this fucking dickhole.
And now we're looking at a picture of Pierce Brosnan driving the tank, which is Lacey's favorite part of her favorite movie.
It's just his stupid little head sticking up like he's in fucking Big, hanging out of a goddamn limo. Idiot asshole.
Even James Bond can't look cool hanging out of a tank. I remember
Tank Girl looks cool in a tank. Why can't he? Everyone else I've ever seen in a tank looks good. He's in his stupid suit. His hair's all coiffed. He's just driving through buildings. He's like turning that bitch on a dime. Is that really the true mechanics of a tank? I don't think so. I also don't know.
I think it is.
Okay, well then it is. But
And the Russian tanks are supposed to have metal treads and not rubber ones, so it probably, if you got it up fast enough, it probably would skid sideways.
okay. Well, there he is.
I don't know how fast they go.
I always remember Ben Mankiewicz, the guy who's introduces the TCM movies. He's talking about when he saw this movie in 1995 being outraged because James Bond should never be in a tank. That's not James Bond.
Well, what about drilling into his head with a tiny little needle?
There's an idea.
Does that not strain incredulity?
Oh, yeah, that's technically it. Wait, why? Well, no. It's just
I'm
like
talking
James
about
Bond.
a different movie. But
No,
Jesus Christ.
It's that's just so blunt. James Bond is not that a tank that's just so broad. James Bond is more precise, more discreet.
But I don't think he is.
Roger-
But now it is James Bond.
I mean, he was driving a tanker truck in the last movie. He was dressed up as a clown. He has axe fights on top of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's spectacle.
James Bond is what the movies say
I
he
think
is.
James Bond is smooth in social situations, but I think he is clunky and bad at his job when he's doing his job. Like, he's not stealth. He makes lots of noise.
Stealthy.
It's not stealthy. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you like this sequence, Wade?
I love the tank chase.
The car chase, tank. It's some of it I really like. Some of it I feel like is kind of edited very poorly. This is probably my least favorite part of the movie. It goes on.
I
a
did
little
notice
while.
some voices that are dubbed, but I didn't see too many seams.
Well,
this.
I
love use bumper. That's what it's for.
Yeah, that's great. Just like too many quick cuts, I think, is my main complaint. But they really filmed this in St. Petersburg, which is cool.
And they already have
Matt,
those ruins.
my fellow musician, what did you think of the music in this movie?
Not the biggest fan.
Get this off the fucking
I'm
screen.
leaving.
No, get this off, Matt.
I'm out of the episode.
He's got a gif of this old fart kissing. I can't take it.
I did that too, drive you crazy.
Yes, but if you're going to have a whole separate conversation,
I like some of the electronic stuff. I think I don't like the romantic swelling. But
See,
I don't my opinion is not that fully formed. I didn't pay attention to it.
So Eric Serra did the music mostly. I think he's responsible for the electronic stuff that we like, because the romantic what's the word I'm looking for? The
Strings?
It's kind of saccharine.
Yeah.
Like in the when they're in Puerto Rico and when they're in Monte Carlo. But so Eric Serra, I found out sometime long after being obsessed with this movie, did the music for The Professional.
Leon the Professional?
Yes.
Yes.
The very same.
I love that movie.
And so as soon as that movie started up and I'm hearing the music, oh, this is the GoldenEye guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the electronic stuff, and it is a
such unusual sound palette.
Yeah, and for James Bond, it's very different.
Yeah, they've done electronic scores since then, but none of them sound like this one.
Okay, Laci, I have to have the kissing gif on screen. I'm sorry. So yeah, they get on the pointy nose train.
Lip service.
This is where Alec lives. He lives on this luxury train. I love a luxury train.
I do love a luxury train. And you don't expect it from the outside of the train.
Yeah, because look at it again. This looks very Soviet, very brutalist.
Train is
but inside it's
angry.
nice. The world's going topsy turvy. Alec,
and this is the first time she gets rape kissed. She gets rape kissed twice.
That comes late. Oh, that's true. He does that to
He
her.
rape kisses.
But James, in his tank, he derails the train. He rescues her. There's some flippity floppity. I've got you. Now you've got me. The bad guys escape. The good guys also escape. What?
I can smell him from here. Like, I just can't take this.
Then they kiss a lot. And Laci, while we were watching this movie, shouted, "Disgusting!" And then our kid, who was in the room wearing headphones, paying attention to something else, looked up briefly and just went sick.
There's just something not cute about it.
So what? You just hate kissing?
No, that's not true. There's a million movies where I love the kissing. I even like the way he kisses in the Thomas Crown Affair.
Look up at the screen and go, that person is sick.
Sick. Stop!
So you like kissing in other movies. Okay. Natalia saw that they're going to Cuba, so they go to Cuba. Filmed in Puerto Rico, but it's Cuba
She's always wanted to go to the Caribbean, Matt.
in the movie. And Jack Wade is there. He's very happy about the CIA's performance in Cuba, which is probably the thing he should be least proud of, but he's proud of it. And there's a weird scene with Bond and Natalia on the beach where they exchange feelings.
It's kind of a one-way
Trying to
street.
track what they're...
For a James Bond movie, like the metric is pretty low.
Got
So
it.
like this is a lot of feelings sharing for a Bond film.
Well, just to have him sitting on a beach looking out at the ocean contemplatively.
It looks like
That's
the Thomas
new for-
Crown Affair.
That's new for him. She's like, what are you thinking? And
Ruble for your thoughts.
and he's like, I once had a friend, Alec Trevelyan. I don't know. I don't even know what he's thinking.
He asked me.
That's a whole different movie.
He asked me
Anyway,
to form things in the form of a question.
they end up
Is that
kissing and going into the bed and having postcoital little kissing games. And Lacey just repeatedly just slammed her pen down on her notebook. She was so angry right now.
Because he won't answer the question. She's not going to leave that situation feeling good about herself. And she saved his ass. And the world. It's my turn. Okay. Now we got Mr. Cummings again. Great. And they have this huge underground lair. Like, it's flawless, but they leave the walls exposed. Don't want anyone to forget we live in Iraq. Okay. Anyway, but it is a very impressive lair. Although, okay, I've seen Breaking Bad. It was really hard to put that fucking thing down below the... It's hard to build below ground. He's just building in a mountain like it's fucking
I know.
nothing.
It's a Mary Sue villain lair. We don't see how hard it was to build. We should see how long it took him to build.
It's
You're right.
huge.
9 years.
It is huge.
Right, that's what he was doing the whole time. He's supervising with a clipboard.
I want to yell at you here. You put that there. Okay, lots of technology and monitors. This guy's hacking on his frame. I don't actually know what. Stop! I don't
It
actually.
is like it's this whole like now look, this is what we've been building to. You thought you saw computers in the last movie. Well, it has been a long time since you've seen a movie. Look what we could do with computers.
Closer to
2
camera.
screens.
There's 6. What are they doing though? They're breaking into things. I don't know
Well,
why.
they reveal the villain's plan. What is the villain's... Ultimately, what Sean Bean is trying to do...
He's going to fire an electromagnetic pulse from the upper atmosphere and shoot London with
to
it.
shoot London.
Just give them all a good little zap. They're all
Give it
gonna
a
be
good
like,
little zap, which will
My Joe.
basically destroy everything with a computer or a microchip in it.
Oh, he's gonna set them back. Now that's actually kind of smart. They're
First-
playing catch up because of the Cold War.
So you like it now?
No.
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, but it makes I like that his plan is not to kill. The plan is to like just let's equity. Let's
But that's
get you
after...
guys.
First, we're going to electronically transfer funds from the bank into my own bank. He's like, you son of a bitch.
Well, he is Russian.
it's an automatic clearinghouse transaction.
Nothing
And
more
then
than
we'll
a-
shoot the EMP at London and destroy all the records of it. So it's about money, but also I
About
want you to be set
revenge.
back to the Stone Age,
No, just, you know,
the Bronze Age.
yeah. Just don't be as
Just
more
Britain, though.
technical.
You can then go to France and everything still works. Yeah. I like this evil plan. It's
Great.
it's a weird plan, but
It's
It's
a
far from the worst.
Nondescript plan. It's beside the fact. Who cares? We're gonna time shit. You guys are gonna get out in the nick of time. There's gonna
It
be
wouldn't
sex.
be as good of a plan if it were a random rogue Russian,
Yeah,
as
no.
it may have been in the previous
I
15,
enjoyed-
20 years of movies.
I enjoyed the twist. I wrote that down.
let me see that.
I didn't write it down. I like the twist.
Okay, here's my question. So Natalia, she says, "I'm fine, by the way," and she says this a couple times throughout the movie. I meant to look this up. Is this the first instance of that line in a movie? I'm fine, by the way.
But passive aggressive.
Something to think about.
Huh.
I'm fine, by the way. So they blow up the computer facility with the cool pen, and
I do like him tracking the clicks of
yeah,
the pen.
it's so great. It's so great, and I can't track it. Can you?
Also, what
I-
kind of
I
hacker
used-
uses one hand? One hand hacking?
That's what. Yeah, him.
Ah, because he needed this.
That's
he
a
needed
thing
this.
in the next movie too. You have Jonathan Pryce who's holding his little tablet and typing really fast with one hand.
Oh.
You do that on a tablet, though. 'Cause you got to support the tablet with the other hand. That's
Well,
fine.
Boris never took a typing class.
Okay, I like the twist. Okay, I like the twist.
But to
I
answer
like
your question, I did
that-
used to track the clicks.
Okay.
Okay, I like
I like the tracking of the clicks. No, I can't track it. I'm like, this time I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. Okay, reset 1, 2. Oh, fuck.
I'm glad you're
See,
paying
and that's why I used to have so much trouble with it. I think the pen knows when you don't click it 3 times fast, and it will if you click it twice,
It doesn't count.
It'll wait for the third time, and if it doesn't get that third click within a
Resets.
second or two, it resets.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is the tension in the scene. Whereas I always used to think 1, 2, 3, 4,
1. Yeah, that's what I thought.
4, 5, 6.
I thought it was that. I thought it was 1, 2, 3. Okay, he's gonna blow. No, but then he immediately clicks it again. So it'd be like every six times. It doesn't matter.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. Really doesn't. But we're
Yeah,
still
but
talking.
Boris, he's still clacking on his computer. He succeeds. He's invincible. But James Bond jams the transmitter, and he's like, "God damn it!" And then Alec and James brawl on the top of the thing, and Bond wins, and he's for England, James. No, for me. And then just the most
Long.
wonderful cut from Alec thumping onto the ground and Alan Cumming screaming at his
Screaming.
computer, which I have in GIF form here.
Yep, I love that. And it also bookends the movie with long falls.
It does, yes. One successful, one not.
Both successful,
movie.
but one controlled.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
we have reached the final thoughts portion of the show. So let's go around to the panel. Wade, what are your final thoughts and star rating on GoldenEye for the 500th time that you've seen it?
To find out how such
Now.
a radical... it's my sentimental favorite movie of all time. I have to give it 5 stars
So
on
you-
the strength of that.
You do say it's your favorite movie, like just flat out. Somebody says, what's your favorite movie? You say GoldenEye.
It's my knee-jerk answer. I've broadened my palette since then, and I will one day. I will bring in an episode, a movie that Laci you enjoy.
Wait.
I don't know what it is. It will be.
Who brought in Leon the Professional?
That was That was Matt Salazar. That was listener choice.
Oh, I like the bucket list.
No, but we like the bucket list, yeah. And oh wait, no, you didn't have Shaun of the Dead. You had History of the World.
Yeah, didn't like that one, did you?
I don't remember it.
I'm gonna bring one in that you really like one time.
I know you are.
It's my mission on this show to impress Laci, and I have failed every time.
That's because you're GoldenEye.
That's because I am.
You're 007. You're not Tom Cruise. But
I'm
one
000.
So did you say a star rating?
5.
Yeah,
It's a
5.
5.
Okay.
5. It's objectively, if I can offer such a perspective, I'd probably give it a 4. But it's my favorite movie, so 5.
Right. Makes sense to give it a 5. I have thoughts. I'm
Okay.
prepared.
Yeah, I
decided
hated your Letterboxd review. Go on. If I could hit thumbs down, I would.
I have no thoughts. Okay.
Go on. Lacey, what are your final thoughts?
I'm just going to read you my Letterboxd review. Who is this movie for? Not me. It's not thrilling enough to be a thriller. It's not romantic enough to be a romance. It's not funny enough to be a comedy. It's not Mission Impossible enough to be a James Bond worth watching. No. 2 stars.
When
Two
you
thumbs
ask,
down on that review.
when you
Put 'em
ask,
up your asshole.
so here, when you say who is this movie for, is it because you don't think
I don't think this movie knows what it is.
this movie knows exactly what it is? It is
Well,
so in
I don't
control.
like it.
It is so well directed. Martin Campbell does a bang up job. Great,
It's a banger.
great sort of semi
Shut up.
reboot
Wait, we don't use that word.
of James Bond, and great time capsule of 1995 and time stamping where James Bond is in the world of 1995, in the post Cold War, but sort of pre 9/11, pre internet everything.
Keep saying positive things. I will agree with you.
Bond movie. Yeah, extremely well directed. I think really great action
Yes.
for the most part. Love the
Yes.
supporting cast. Love Famke Jensen. Love
Yes.
the guy who plays Ormov.
Yes.
I like Natalia.
Yes.
Boris is one of the great weasels
Yes.
in cinema history.
Triple yes.
4 stars. This is a really good James Bond.
Guess what the average is? 3.
Review us, our show, Load Bearing Beams, on iTunes or Spotify, if you please.
Review.
And
Who is this
subscribe.
show for? Not me.
It's something for everyone.
We are on social media. We're on Twitter at LoadBearingPod, TikTok at load.bearing.beams, Instagram loadbearingbeams, and loadbearingbeamspod is where you can find us on YouTube. I'm on Letterboxd at MattStokes9. Lacey's a little tuckered out. You can find her on Letterboxd at
Letterbox Lacey. Fucking load bearing Lacey.
Letterboxd Lacey.
Stop it.
Me and Wade's band is Rural Route 9. Our album is The Joy of Averages. But,
Yeah.
But fuck that. Instead, you should listen to Who Said That by
Who Said
Wade
That?
Hymel.
Yay.
Who Said That? And find it on Apple Music / iTunes, Spotify, Google
it.
Music,
Do
Amazon
it.
Music,
Do
or
it. 5
pay
stars.
him direct.
5 stars. 5 stars.
Shut up. Pay him directly to buy
Venmo.
the album. And you're going to have a CD release too as well, right?
Yes. Planning on May 11th. Still working out the details, but planning on May 11th in Hammond, Louisiana.
Will there be an option for people to order it online and get it mailed to them? Just say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You wouldn't commit to something you weren't sure of. How dare you do that to him?
I will let you know to let everyone know when I get the CDs.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, yes. I love the album. You did a great job.
Thanks, man. Thanks for talking about it.
Yes, it is. If you like rock, if you like guitar rock, if you like soaring guitar solos, which you'll especially hear in the song we're going to play now, the first track on the album.
You guys are playing a song?
I mean, I'm going to add it in
Oh,
post.
okay.
Book Off the Shelf is the first track on the album. Yes, that's it. Okay, I love you. Goodbye.
GoldenEye.
Bye. 3, 4.
I'm tearing books off the shelf. I'm only trying to hold it together. I'm telling lies to myself, withstanding all kinds of weather. I see my friends all around. I know they won't be here forever. I gotta leave this town, fly on the wind like a feather. I'm telling lies to myself,